Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Integrity Bites. This week I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic that I get asked about all the time, which is how do I create a safe speak up culture, or how do I get my people to speak up? Now, there's lots of technical things that we can say around how you should build your program and how you communicate and how you get people to speak up, but I can cover those at another time. What I wanted to come at it was from a bit of a different angle, so a bit more left field, which is, how do you tap into the actual human factor here to get people to speak up? Now, before I go into that, I just want to cover up another part of this topic, which is the terminology that we use to describe speaking up or whistleblowing. There's lots and lots and lots of bad terms out there. We've all heard them before. I mean, whistleblower itself is a bit of a negative term these days because of its history. But, we've got dobbing in your mate, being a snitch, a rat, a dog, whatever the case may be. I'm really big on pushing back on people using those kind of terms. I think they're really negative, and I think they do us no favors, and all they really do is put the whole program into a negative light. And if anything, they disincentivize people from wanting to speak up. And I had a bit of a joke or a laugh with one of my clients the other day because we were talking about this very topic, which led to this episode. And, rightly so, she said, how do I get people to think that it's okay to dob in a mate? And I said, well, for starters, let's stop using that term because that has a negative side to it. It has a negative connotation and it's not going to encourage people to speak up. So that takes me to what I do want to speak about, which is, apart from all the technical things around promoting your program and getting the CEO or the boss to say the right thing or the coach of the team, I want to actually just go a bit below the surface and say, we've got to appeal to people's human senses, which is we have relationships with one another, we try and invest in building trust, and we all come to work or to work in a team, in a high performance environment, to do the right thing. And when you see someone struggling, either emotionally or welfare wise, or they're up to no good and they're doing the wrong behaviors, okay? So they might be bullying, harassing someone, they might be stealing some money potentially, they've got some dodgy relationships with people outside of work, and you're just not sure. The longer you ignore that, the bigger the issue becomes, okay? And when we've investigated people in the past, in my career particularly, whenever I sit down and investigate and interview someone who's been committing fraud over a number of years, the burden has been released the moment we get to speak to them. They are just so pleased that someone's finally spoken up, someone's finally reported them, or they've been found out so they can stop living the life. And an example would be you say to them, hey Jenny, how much money do you think you've stolen? And Jenny's got no clue. She's like, $70,000, $80,000. And you're like, it's 870. And she's like, mind's blown, right? So the point I'm making here is that often the people that are involved in, behavioral issues outside of a team environment, wrong relationships with suppliers that look a bit dodgy or suspect that might be placing the organization at risk, or internally they're not behaving the right way and they're creating issues by bullying and harassing people. Often those people have got problems in their own life and they need help. And it's really hard to ask for help. So when it comes to creating a safe speak up culture, I like to really, encourage people to try and get your people to be connected to one another, around that whole trust factor about I'm doing a good deed for my fellow worker or my teammate. Because whilst it might be a bit hard for them at the time when the issue is uncovered and we've got to go through that process, you're getting them some help. You're stopping the issue from occurring, which is protecting them and protecting the people being victimized, but you're also getting them the help and the opportunity to start turning their life around, okay? So, if you think about ongoing bullying, harassment, for example, right? It creates a lot of issues, right? For the people being bullied, but also the person doing the bullying. And when it comes to, committing fraud, if you speak up early and get some help for that person or uncover it, it's a difference potentially between them stealing $20,000 or $200,000. And we're talking the difference here between having a slap on the wrist at court or getting 2 or 3 years in jail, right? So there's a lot here for you to actually think about in terms of, I want to speak up, I'm going to get this person the right thing. And from a moral and ethical perspective, you're actually doing them you're doing them a favor and you're doing them a service. So that's my take on that. I'd love to hear some feedback. I'd love to be challenged if people think it's a load of rubbish. But I think, not only just talking about all the program and the governance and the promotion, but you got to connect at a human level and just go like, it's the right human thing to do. So that's my update for this week, and we'll catch you on the next Integrity Bites.